Hello everyone, welcome back to the another episode of Go Together podcast. I'm your host, Mudassir, and today we have a very special guest, Rebecca. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm also good. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for accepting an invitation. And how's the weather in the UK?
It's really nice at the minute, actually, which is unusual for the UK. But yeah, it's 20 degrees today, very hot. So yeah, and thank you for having me on. I really appreciate
And in this podcast, we're going to understand about your own journey and then about your startup, Cash Academy. But before we discuss the Cash Academy, I want to know about your own journey, about your own education process.
it. Yeah. So I mean, I've always gone to schools in England that are quite, I would say, in quite a deprived area. I was from a background with a lot of debt and a pupil premium myself. And so I decided that I really wanted to be a teacher because of this. So because of my background of maybe not having a very good education, I decided that I would love to be a teacher. So that's where my education started. So I went to university in Manchester to study teaching English as a foreign language. And then I started teaching in primary schools. And I've been at my current school now because I still teach now. I've been there for about 8 years. And I'm the science lead there because I absolutely love all things STEM and science. So that's what I've been doing for the last probably 10 years. I think I might have been at that school actually. So yeah.
So how's the experience when you're sitting in the classroom and learning from the teachers, and now you are in the same classroom teaching the students? So this transition, how will you how you experience it?
Sorry, what was
That
the end?
that the transition from student now as a teacher.
I think I wanted to make sure that I was a teacher who was inspiring. I had a lot of teachers when I was at school who kind of put me down actually. So I wanted to be a vet when I was younger. And so I was okay at science. I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't an A-star student. And I had some teachers who basically said, you can't be a vet. You're not clever enough. You're gonna have to pick a different career. So I think that was kind of the inspiration as well behind being a teacher and changing that. I don't ever want to teach a child who feels like they've got a boundary to anything that they want to do. Even if they're finding something tricky, they need to find something to overcome that boundary. And that's where I want to really help them to set high aspirations and do these great things with their life, no matter what background they've got, what jobs their parents have had, what people have said they can and can't do. I feel like that it's our jobs as teachers to inspire the next generation, and that's
Mm,
that's what I hope that's what I've been doing. But
great. Meanwhile, you're planning to start your own Cash Academy organization. What's the idea behind it?
yeah, so I mean, I think up until very recently, my husband and I wouldn't say that we're very good with money. My husband's an accountant. He's quite good with money. Me not so much. And then in the last few years, as we've got a little bit older and we've got children, and we've started to see how we can be a bit more savvy with money and how we can be a little bit more sensible and making sure we've got things saved up for things that might happen. And then I said, why aren't we learning this at school? Why aren't we teaching it? Why aren't the children
Mm,
learning about it? And I looked into it and did a little bit of research. And the schools, it's woven into the curriculum very loosely, but the actual life skills and the
mm,
practicing
mm, mm.
things that we're going to need to do in later life, it's just not there. And I feel like we're in a generation where we're kind of learning on the job. We leave school, we've got all these big financial decisions to make, and we're just making them on a whim really and going with it. And it's not until I'm in my 30s that I feel like I've really got a handle on that. And it would have been much more helpful if I would have had that. So the idea behind Cash Academy is to make sure that every child does have that opportunity and does have those skills before they get to the age that they need to then put it in, and nobody has to learn on the go like we've had to. Because there's been quite a few things in my life where I found quite tricky situations. So I lost my mum when I was 16, and at the time I didn't know anything about the situation with money. But as I've grown up into an adult and I've looked back, I find in like our situation then. we didn't have anything. We lost our house when she went. We had to go and live with family. We didn't have any of our possessions, and it turned out that there was a lot of debt there. And just learning all this as a grown up, I don't ever want any child to have to go through that. So if we
Hmm.
can even give them a tiny bit of inspiration of how to learn and how to not be afraid of money and to use it as a tool, then that's what our aim is to do, but not by standing and teaching them about money because
Hmm.
it can be quite boring if you just talk about money. And the children that I teach and children all around the world learn really well through play and through immersive experiences. And I'm quite a hands-on sciencey teacher, so I just thought, how could I combine the two passions? How can I combine making learning interactive and teaching these children these key financial skills? So that's my husband's the idea behind the finance, and then I've kind of brought what I know from the teaching part, and we've combined that together, which has been really cool being able to work together. Um, and then we came up with Cash Academy. So it'll be an immersive role play based workshop that we deliver to children, kind of like a living monopoly where they get to go around and make money decisions and take things off the walls and scan QR codes, and it'll just really
Hmm.
engaging, really fun, and really a safe environment to practice these money skills.
I think the question is here is that around the globe there's a debate on the existence of skills. What kind of skills they are building. And even in other countries as well, we are facing the same issues regarding the building these skill set. So when everyone is aware about these issues, why the schools are not working on?
I think the schools are very restricted to the national curriculum, and at the minute, unfortunately, there hasn't been. It's not in the national curriculum, so it's not. There's not as much of a an emphasis on that it needs to be taught. It's kind of individuals who are feeling like this definitely does need to be taught, who are weaving it in. And teachers have a big job to do, to cover everything already. And I
Hmm.
think me myself, I wouldn't have said I'm a financial expert. And I think when you think about teaching about money, some teachers might feel really overwhelmed, like we're not financial experts. Why are we teaching
Hmm.
children
Hmm.
about
Hmm.
money?
Hmm.
So it feels a little bit scary. So not only is it not on the national curriculum explicitly, also it's something new, it's something more to add on. So I think it needs to be taught in a way that it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels fun. It's very engaging. I think there's going to be a review in September of the curriculum, or in the autumn this year in the UK, and there'd been a lot of chats around maybe making it a little bit more prevalent. So I'm hoping to see a little bit of a change coming in. I know there's been a lot of fantastic people who are all advocates for financial education going to Parliament recently and trying to change. They've been in conversation with Becky Francis, who's she helps to shape the national curriculum here. So it'd be really interesting to see if there's going to be a bit of a switch, because we know that there are a lot of adults who are
Hmm.
financially, but they don't have the financial skills in life, and this is leading to a lot of mental health problems. So if we could fix it in the schools, it'd make a
Hmm.
huge difference.
Yes.
We just need to start a little bit lower down. I think people sometimes think that the children are, it's too much for them, or it's not something that they need to be taught, maybe, but it definitely is. It's a life skill.
Still, I have seen number of posts on LinkedIn that where people are sharing that, yeah, my school haven't taught this, haven't taught this, haven't taught this, and there's a long list. So, being a part of the school, I do think it really is a problem. Because after spending a good time in a school, and if you are not learning basic tech skill, uh, basic money management, budgeting, so all these skills are the used in your daily life. And if you're struggling in these things, so you will face problem in your life.
Yeah. Absolutely. It needs to be embedded from a young age. They need to have a real think about where it fits in, where it can be woven in, or where we can teach it explicitly, definitely.
Having a being a woman, supportive family is very important. You are doing a job and now you're starting Cash Academy. Uh, how do you say that was the role of your family to support you, being a teacher and now starting this organization?
What part? Can you just repeat that last part? Sorry.
Your role of your family, uh, how supportive they are to do all these things.
Really important. I think my husband has been an absolute amazing person just to meet. I think when you meet somebody who has just got such he's always striving for something else and he always wants to make a difference and he's been such a rock and a support for me and for our family. I think having someone like that to help you alongside and someone who's ambitious and who wants to see he always wants everybody to do more. It's been really useful because it's not easy. Obviously, I'm still teaching. I've got two young
Hmm.
children. My youngest is only two, and she is a handful. So having that support from my husband has been really invaluable. And like I said earlier, it's been really lovely to be able to create something together that's ours. That combines both of our passions, him with the finance, me with the teaching, and then something that we both feel really strongly about. So it's really nice.
Okay. Because role of family is very important. When you're
Yeah.
working and you're want to do something extra in your life, and family is supportive, so you are easy to do the things. One more thing, Ritika, when you're starting a Cash Academy, so your main target audience of which age group you're targeting basically, or you're creating a content for which age group exactly?
So the main audience initially is going to be primary school children. So we feel like we know that money habits are formed from the age of 7. So that's kind of where we wanted to start off the back of that research. That's also where most of my experience is in teaching Key Stage 1 and 2 children. So we're going to start there, but we do hope to then expand into early years and into secondary schools. My husband's really keen to get into post 16 education.
Okay.
He can kind of because he's obviously doing it at a more in detail level as a financial manager, he would be able to then speak to them in a little bit more in depth, just as they're about to go in and make those decisions. Whereas I'm really keen to start with the primary age children. So we're hoping together we can kind of reach as many children as possible. And it might be that obviously the target audience is schools. We want to deliver our
Hmm.
workshops into schools, but also we think it's really, really important that parents are on board with this because those conversations need to be able to carry on at home. They need to be extended. They need to be talking about how to save. A lot of children develop money habits from what they see at home. So we're really keen to also speak to lots of parents and see how we can kind of develop a community of parents that
Hmm.
share ideas and that's something that we're also looking into doing because not everybody knows everything. Collaboration is,
Yes.
is key and we really love that and so that is something that we're hoping to do.
Because I do remember when I was in school and still in 2025, there's only one activity, basic activity, which happened in every year in every school.
Yeah,
Time. I really enjoyed the discussion, and I should best of luck for your startup, Cash Academy, and I hope so that the maximum students will get benefit from it. And last, any message you want to give to the audience?
thank you very much. I think just please follow our company if you can, follow our journey. We want to build a community of parents and teachers who are helping to shape a new world going forward where children do feel strong about that they're able to make confident money decisions. We want to make sure that children don't feel frightened of money and that they can learn in a scenario-based way. We'd love to come to your school if there's anyone in England. We'd love to come and show you what we're all about.
Thank you so much, Deepika, for your time. And this is a very basic problem which we all have been observed around the globe that okay, we have to learn from our mistakes and try to build the skill set which is required today. And we have to share this learning with the next generation.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.